Hello, everybody, and welcome to My EdTech Life. I am your host, Alfonso Mendoza, or you can call me Fonz, and you can find me at TechTeacher1381 on Twitter. And today we have a wonderful show. I am so excited because we have such an energetic guest that I had the opportunity to meet at TCEA. And from that moment on, we just kind of hit it off. And it's mainly just because we obviously go to the same hairstylist because we go get the same color. But it is just amazing to have met just a wonderful person, so caring, so dear, so passionate about digital citizenship. And today she is honoring us with her presence here on our show to give you guys so many wonderful resources and just to share with you just the good news of what digital citizenship is. So again, it's a very important topic that we need to just have those conversations with our students, even with our own kids, just to be a good digital citizenship. So we have Marialice Curran, who is joining us. And I'm going to go ahead and give Marialice an opportunity here to go ahead and introduce herself and share her awesome sauce. And then we'll just get the conversation going. Those of you that are joining us live, please join us with your comments, with your questions. It's participation is definitely a big plus to help the conversation keep going. So thank you so much, Marialice, for being here. Go ahead and tell our audience members just a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, Fonz, first of all, I want to thank you. We met just this past TCEA, and I have to start out with a shout out to Jamie Donnelly
Yes.
to ensure that this happened. And, that was my last conference before COVID, right? Before we're in this situation. So to have this opportunity to really look back, but also reflect on what we've all just endured as we start to think about planning in the future, I'm excited to join you today. But my background, I was a middle school teacher, I was a middle school principal, and I was a faculty member in a school of education working with both undergraduate and graduate students who were becoming teachers. And that really, during that time as a faculty member, is when my interest in digital citizenship started, because districts were going one-to-one and no one had a plan in the beginning. Right. And we would get a call, could you come in and do professional development? To me, that was always like the Band-Aid. We started like in a very reactive place around digital citizenship. I feel like it was really about trying to make sure like a huge focus on e-safety and cyberbullying, which of course is so important. But as I kind of evolved in my own journey, I realized we need to extend that conversation beyond safety, beyond cyberbullying, beyond like looking at all the don'ts. There were lots of, you'd have an assembly, and generally speaking, you'd have like someone come, an expert to come, and they'd scare the kajibas out of whether it was the parents or it was the students or it was, for the teachers and the staff of the school. And that wasn't creating a culture to really support connected learning. And so I wanted to break that model of just talking at students or talking at anybody for that matter, and extending that conversation beyond e-safety. And instead of talking at you, to learn with you. And that's really that's the work that I do with the Digital Citizenship Institute. I can tell you as a mom, and you can see behind me, oops, I'm pointing the wrong way, for DigCit Kids, when my son, he's 13 now, but when he was younger, we were learning side by side. We were recognized as a mother and son team. And the idea of, if you want to learn about the world, we need to learn with the world, and the importance of learning side by side, whether it's with your child, your teen, your colleague. And this couldn't be any more true than what's happening right now during this emergency remote learning that we just all experienced, where we were learning at home, we were teaching at home, we were working at home. And I look at that and I think how important it is to pause and reflect as we start to make plans for the next school year.
No, most definitely. And that is definitely the question right now is what is that going to look like? You know, a lot of people just really don't know. They're all kind of just guessing, speculating. And in fact, I mean, it's just terrible to just go in with this level of uncertainty and not knowing what's going to happen. I know that that causes a lot of problems, obviously at home with parents, obviously with us as educators, and just kind of seeing what's going to happen. So again, it's hopefully we always wish for the best, and everybody's health and safety, that always comes first. Now, one of the things that I love that you said, Marialice, is just the part of learning along with you, learning with you, not just kind of talking to you, but learning with you. And I think that's definitely something that is very important, as digital citizenship is something that I have, with the past 3 years, have been so passionate about. And because I do get to work with a lot of adult learners, which are our parent learning community. And one of the things that I love to do is always involve our parents that are within our community to come in, whether you're English speakers, Spanish speakers, that's the beautiful part about being bilingual, but just to be able to share with them, how to properly use technology. But more than anything, we always have those conversations that might be very difficult to have with parents. And because parents, they may notice what their child may be doing. All of a sudden they're like, oh, how, it's okay. She's just dancing in front of the phone, or, oh, they're just, making this little video, but do they really understand what it is that their son or daughter are doing? And so one of the things that I'm glad that you're here to talk about is, digital citizenship. And the way that I've gone about it is meeting with our parents periodically and creating collections of articles to give parents a resource and tools to, like you said, there's a lot of don'ts that you can tell them, but to actually sit down and have a conversation with and talk to them, and you're learning together. So those are some of the approaches that I've taken here within our school district in collecting or creating Wakelet collections, both in English and Spanish, with resources for all the major platforms, so that parents are aware of what their son or child may be doing. And let's face it, I mean, right now, during this time from, let's say, March 16th on till now, students have been at home, some of them that have access either to their laptops, desktops, Chromebooks, Macs, iPhones, any kind of device. Social media plays a big part of how they communicate. And we need to be very careful to protect their digital footprint. So is there anything that you can go ahead and just tell us about that? Just expound about that on that topic.
I feel like when I'm speaking with parents, I'll always ask who here sleeps with their phone by their bed, or it doesn't just have to be parents; it can be with adults. And the number of hands that will be raised, and I'll say, I want to welcome you back to the human race. I want you to go back to an old-fashioned alarm clock, because when you think about that, the focus is on what our young people are doing with technology, but we're their role models. Mm-hmm. And so I don't want you to say good night or good morning to a device. I want you to join the human race again, whether there's another human being in your home, you've got a furry creature in your home, I mean, whatever. And to be mindful and deliberate about our choices. And so if you were going to come up with a family contract, it isn't just something that our children or our teens should be doing. We should be doing this collectively as a family. And so simple things. Way before COVID, I would go, I'm a big Red Sox fan, and I'd take my son to a Red Sox game, and I would say, we're going device free. He didn't have a device at that point. I had one, but I purposely would say, we're going device free. And he'd be like, oh, like today's the day I'm going to catch the foul ball. And I would say, you will remember that the rest of your life. You do not need a picture. Like, I look at so many events, whether it's going to be graduation, even kindergarten graduation, up to high school or college, or if you go to a concert, how many people, and I'm going to pull up my phone at this point, are watching or experiencing something through their device and not being present. So, that's the idea of that we're doing this together. And then I'll tell you at a Red Sox game, when we would go device free, we would talk to people around us. I would always engage people, not as like I'm trying to shame anyone, but like, how do you use technology when you come to a ball game? And you would hear the different ways. And, somebody might say, oh, we come early, we take our pictures, and then we put our device away. Some would say, oh, I use my device and I'm scoring the game. Others might just be whether it's catching Pokemon or what have you at the game, but just to engage people in this really critical conversation. But the importance of learning intergenerationally, like this is about an entire school community learning together. I mean, that's what it is. We need to invite everybody. So this isn't just digital citizenship at school, it's at home, it's at play, it's at work. And I look at, like, to even tie that back into, like, we don't know what's going to happen. What's the beginning of the opening of 2020, 2021 is going to look. But let's take this time where we're not in an emergency situation like we just were. Let's learn how to build community online. That's the best thing, I think, for the opening of school. Let's make sure that we're focused on social emotional learning, meeting those needs, building this foundation where then we can continue to add layers that are going to be meaningful. That would be my big suggestion for this upcoming school year, no matter what it's going to look like, is that we are going to have that opportunity collectively to learn together, side by side, and we'll build community together. Hi, Bruce. I see Bruce this year. Exactly, because that's authentic learning. In fact, Bruce, I will make a big announcement right now. I can tell you, last October, the third week in October has always been Digital Citizenship Week, like historically speaking. And last year, pre-COVID, we took our DigCit Summit, which is an event where we bring all stakeholders together around digital citizenship to learn together. We've put on these summits around the world. We decided to put our 5th annual online, and here we go. Yes. So last October, we decided to do it online. We had 37 countries, 43 states, and over 100,000 students that joined that week. Bruce was involved in our panel. We partnered with EduMatch, and there were panels each evening. But each day, like, this is the beautiful thing. Each day it's classrooms teaching classrooms. Talk about authentic, where we have classrooms around the world saying, this is how we use technology for good. This is what it looks like. So perhaps, like, one classroom was talking about blogging and comments, and another classroom, I don't know. Oh, here's Tisha. Yay! Tisha's SWAT program. I mean, her students were incredible leading the way. You know, this is personalized learning. This is like the very best. It can't become any more authentic than that. And so save the date, October the 12th through the 16th. It's the third week in October. And once again, we are going to host the DigCit Summit. We will have those classroom connections every single day. We will have the panels happening each evening. And I can tell you, last year, it was that Wednesday where everything that we did was in Spanish. Everything that happened was Spanish-speaking classrooms. So October the 14th, that will be where, and my good colleague, Eugenia Tasmes from Mexico, she was really the moderator. It was like headquarters for the DigCit Summit was in Monterrey, Mexico. And she was connecting classrooms, Spanish-speaking classrooms, but also here in the States where students had an opportunity. They were learning Spanish, and they had an opportunity to practice their Spanish while embedding digital citizenship. I mean, so I'm really excited. And then the other part, there are 3 things that will happen: classroom connections, the panels, and then we did storytelling, and it was around a DigCit impact. So you can see that hashtag there. So I love the idea of action. Digital citizenship needs to be a verb. We need to do it. We need to practice it every single day, no matter how old you are, how young you are, what content that you teach. It's so easy to embed. And so we did we had DigCit impact stories, and they are 7-minute stories about how you make an impact, how you identify a real problem in your community, you solve it, and then you use technology for good to inspire and empower others. So that's what will happen the third week of October. And Bruce was on the panel, Tisha's SWAT team, students were involved. And so really looking forward to that. And now, Fonz, I know we're going to have to get you involved, not only for the Spanish one, but I want to get you involved for the entire week and get your parents, get your school community.
Yes.
This isn't just about the students or the teachers or the administrators. This is collectively everyone. So I'm really excited. And yeah, real-time learning, visiting classrooms, and absolutely. And there are a lot of conferences, and I love going to professional learning experiences. But when you have students and classrooms that are leading that conversation, I don't know about you, but I 100% would go to a student-led session every day of the week, twice on Sundays, because it changes the dynamic. They don't want to hear from the adults. They want to learn. They want to have the adults there learning with them, but that are young people. It's like amplifying student voice. So I'm really excited about that announcement. Boom. I love it, Tisha. And the best part is another announcement is we have made a partnership with Beluga, a platform called Beluga. It's beluga.org. And all of our resources, when we're working with school communities, we're building that up right now. That's where we're going to be. If you want to find us next year and our resources and work with us, so we can work with you and help add layers to what digital citizenship looks like. And I guess funds, like even digital citizenship means so many different things. Like it's become so broad. And unfortunately, it gets stuck in that e-safety. Like sometimes
Right.
it's there and it doesn't extend it. And so I love that the DigCit commit, and Tisha, who's on, her SWAT students won an award. They were supposed to be at ISTE presenting. So the digcitcommit.org, I love it. They have redefined digital citizenship really to be proactive, to take those don'ts and make them into do's. The 5 new competencies I'm in love with. I am in love with these new competencies. And they, instead of talking about safety, they talk about being alert. And I love that focus on being alert because it is about safety, but it's sending that message to extend the conversation. And it's got media literacy in there as well, where they add another layer about being informed and the importance about being informed as a consumer, as a producer. It's like on all of us. I mean, I look at right now how many times people are, in fact, if Michael Drezick, I don't know if he's watching or not, but I see that he will post things where you're trying to get a free trip. This is just recently. And everybody's posting the free trip because there's like free airline tickets. And it's a scam. And I laugh every time I see Michael Drezick post something like this as a reminder, the importance of digital citizenship, media literacy. It's on all of us, to be really informed, to be engaged. And then I love the highest is to be inclusive. And then just personally, during COVID, I've been so focused on making sure that as content creators, that when we create content, it's accessible for all. I'm really excited. I have a session happening in July for Rethink Learning Summit, and it's going to be how to add alternative text, how to add closed captions, and a real focus. Have you done anything with immersive learning?
No, I haven't done that yet.
So that immersive reader.
Oh, with immersive reader, yes, of course.
Immersive reader. So those are the 3 things that my session will talk about. But that, again, for being inclusive, that's on all of us. And there are simple things that we can all be deliberate and mindful to make sure that everyone has access to our content. And anyways, the DigCit commit, if you don't already know about it, I love the new definition of digital citizenship. And then what personally that we've been doing with the Digital Citizenship Institute is to take that commitment and make it into an action through an impact.
Wow, that is amazing. And thank you so much for sharing that big announcement here on our show today. Yeah. That's just something amazing. And again, like I said, it's just been wonderful to have the opportunity to meet you and to learn so many great resources. And we've got some wonderful advocates here for digital citizenship, such as Tisha and Bruce that are here, and a lot of other people. I saw Eugenia here as well. So I'm just really excited about, digital citizenship, like I said, and I continually am a learner and I continually learn. And I'm just glad that you shared these great resources that I've been putting in the chat. So just in case people don't know where to start, I mean, I already went ahead and put the links here to your site, to Beluga, to DigCit Institute, and I've been putting those in there. So that way people can go ahead and get a start on that. And like you said, it's about being just proactive too, not just being reactive, and being all inclusive, including everybody. And, one of the things that I've struggled with before is just the learning community. Sometimes here, or in certain areas, I'm pretty sure that they have those things. As I've been speaking to educators, sometimes it's just getting that parental involvement. And sometimes, parents, when they get called to school, sometimes it's just like, okay, what did my son or daughter do that was bad, but we want to invite them to come in because I've had several occasions where I've had parents come in and then they just leave just stunned with all the information that they never knew about, things that could be harming, or that they may not, that their students may not, or children may be doing that shouldn't be doing. And again, I always tell them, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to help you and give you these tools so you can have these conversations at home. Like you said, you can learn together. Some of the examples that I give them as far as parents is, if you're there, maybe watching a movie or a show with your child, like you said, being device free, and maybe they come across a scene where somebody's using technology maybe in an inappropriate manner or some way, just to kind of ask a question and say, hey, do you think that what they did was right? What would you have done different? Should that have been done? Just because it's a partnership. And my goal is to always equip parents so they can be seen as a resource at home, not so much as, kind of the sage and be like, no, this, you shouldn't do this, but hey, let's talk about this. How have you been? Hey, what have you been doing? How are things going? Just having those conversations, opening up, and just talking to them about protecting digital fingerprints or their digital footprint, because oftentimes I see, and I've seen it everywhere, where students that do post things at age 12, 13, they are seeing consequences right then and there, or even later on. So, it's just something that I'm really passionate about. But like you said, digital citizenship goes beyond that too. It's not just that, but we do definitely need to be very proactive.
And so we have a partnership with Lakeshore Central in upstate New York, and we've been working with them for the past 2 years. And I can tell you, we keep adding layers of community service and outreach. And so the first year we put on a student-led Digital Citizenship Summit, and the entire community came to learn with the students. But this year we put on a future-ready workforce networking event. And we invited the outside industry to come to the school.
That is awesome.
And the students, I think that, I mean, I'm making some assumptions here, but generally speaking, when you would make those phone calls, I think that they would come to school and they're expecting to be delivering the content, like they're the experts. And I think that we really flipped the switch. We totally changed the model, because that idea of learning together, the students actually went out and invited the industry to come, but it was a two-way street where the students were actually presenting, and then it was like a networking event, and then we kind of switched, and then it was, the industry, but the students brought their parents, and it was honestly, to watch this, was watching re-skilling the worker in the workplace, because our focus was actually on emerging technologies and the future of the workplace.
Yes.
And everybody was learning, like that idea of that intergenerational approach. These are the experiences. So it's not that, oh, I'm going to have an assembly and I can put a check in the box, or we're going to have week and we did that. This is ongoing and mindful and deliberate. What can we do to continue to add these layers for this community outreach where we're all learning together? I don't know, Fonz, if you know, one of my favorite organizations that I share everywhere is Cyber Seniors. So it's cyberseniors.org. They are out of Toronto. And first of all, make sure after the show that you watch their documentary. So the founder's daughter made the documentary. And when the crickets come, when you hear the crickets, just know that I'm smiling and laughing right there, because I've probably shared that documentary thousands of times, and every time I can't stop smiling. And it's young people that are mentors to seniors, and this organization has done incredible work, especially over COVID, how to do online shopping, how to connect, with your loved ones, all online. But it's free. You can do a self-paced course, and then you can become a mentor. So when we look at our young people that need, they're looking for volunteer hours. I mean, I can't think of anything more powerful and more important than making sure that our seniors are engaged and part of this conversation. And so in our work with Lakeshore, we've partnered with Cyber Seniors. We took Cyber Seniors and we had fourth graders teaching at the local senior center Flipgrid. And these seniors, I can tell you, they were talking about I want to do more than just play games on my phone. Like I want, like everybody has a purpose and a meaning, and like to be able to have this really powerful tool and realize, yeah, it can be mindless and it can be kind of like a pacifier, but my gosh, it has the potential to be the most powerful learning tool for all ages. And so if you have not checked out Cyber Seniors, for anybody watching, I would say what another wonderful way to start off a school year as you're learning how to build community online. Why don't you look at how you can build community online with this community outreach with Cyber Seniors?
That is awesome. And I just opened up the page. I did pop the link in here into the chat. So for anybody watching, you can go ahead and grab that link and get all this valuable information, because Marialice is definitely, just a resource, just a great resource, that she's sharing all these links. So this is amazing. And already in my head, I'm already like thinking, okay, ideas for this coming school year, depending on what it's going to look like. But this is just amazing,
And you see, it's in Spanish. They have it in Spanish and in French.
Oh, nice. There you go. So that's awesome.
And Eugenia is really going to be taking the lead for with our partnership with the DCI and with the Duke Attack and with Cyber Seniors. So I'm really excited to see as we can continue to, invite more people to be part of this ongoing community.
That's wonderful. That is great. So that's really exciting. And like you said, one of the things, again, digital citizenship is something that I love and I'm really passionate about. But I think just all these resources, you're really opening up maybe some people's eyes as far as rethinking what they thought digital citizenship is and was. And like you said, oftentimes it's kind of like a safety and compliance, like, well, we got to make the kids go through these lessons, just so we can be in compliance. But it's so much more than that, because oftentimes it's just, okay, let's go ahead and do it. And then it just kind of falls by the wayside. And then that's it. Maybe you do the lessons throughout the school year, but so many platforms now are offering, just, digital citizenship lessons that are, spaced out. They go on through the year. And then that way it's always something that is fresh and in the students' minds, day in and day out. And then obviously, including community involvement in there and bringing in parents. And like you said, I think that's just wonderful, bringing in also industries, things of that sort, and preparing them, future ready skills, and that's something that is wonderful, that right now, just with this conversation, already like the ideas are churning, and I'm kind of like making mental notes of things that I want to try and do. And then of course, I'm meeting some wonderful educators here in our chats that I'm going to be able to reach out to and learn a lot more from them too as well. So I'm really excited about that. So Marialice, so where are we going from here? So October 12th, Dixit commit. What else? You're like all over the place, and that's wonderful. Like, any other plans? What else is going on? I know you talked about several of your partnerships. How about something we talked about in our conversation previously? Is how about adding some AR, VR into digital citizenship lessons? So, any projects there that you're working on?
Well, so always with Jamie Donnelly, like, in fact, I will never pretend I know anybody. Like, I will join her AR, playground sessions. And I'm always thinking, oh my gosh, people are going to think like I'm trying to pawn myself off there, but because I will never pretend that I am, but I see what a wonderful way to engage, like, and embed, like, how to use tech, how to become a force for good. There have been things about even accessibility and AR, VR. I love any opportunity. And one of my favorites, actually, with Jamie, and we've used Merge and CoSpaces, is to come up with a real problem in your community, connect it to one of the 5 competencies for DigCit Commit, and then you build it. And like, I love any opportunity that there's like an actionable piece to it. So I will always, whenever Jamie says jump, I'll say how high, and involve digital citizenship and emerging tech. But one program and product that we are starting to roll out, which I'm kind of excited, is a different term than digital citizenship. So like I said, it's a very broad term. I know Bruce has gone with digital leadership. Others have gone that way. I am going in a different direction. I am going with digital sportsmanship. I'll tell you why, Bruce. Oh, I'm saying to Bruce, like, Bruce is like right now, Fonts. I'm going to tell you, but Bruce, the reason why I'm going to do I'm going with digital sportsmanship is when I tell people what I do, they don't know. Sometimes they don't know what I'm talking about, or they only see it from their lens, right? And I feel like I've kind of dropped. I usually end up saying, well, I work with school communities around the world about how to use tech for good. I generally say that, right? And people understand that. But if I say digital citizenship, either they think I'm doing stuff with cyberbullying or e-safety, or I don't know, like wherever their lens is. But digital sportsmanship, when I explain that to people, people go, oh, 100%. People understand what I'm talking about because it's sportsmanship on and off the field, on and off the court, but now on and offline. And again,
Love it.
the idea of a team. I am not athletically inclined, but I have always wanted to be on a team. I always tried out. I never got cut from a team. I think probably because I got heart, but like I loved everything about being part of a team. And so this isn't necessarily just about athletics, like athletic teams, this idea of teams in a general way, but we need to apply all those skills that we talk about for sportsmanship, and we need to apply it online. And I am really excited. And that ties into esports. So I'm
Yes.
very happy about this focus on digital sportsmanship.
That is wonderful. I think that's a great definition. I mean, just like you said, everything that you need to know, the skills in being a team player, collaborating, all of those things. I mean, it's just wonderful. And I just got really excited. I know Tisha got really excited here as well. And, I already put the hashtag in there, digital sportsmanship. So it's just a wonderful, wonderful idea. And it just really, like you said, it doesn't seem like when you hear digital citizenship, it's like, oh, okay, this is going to be kind of really serious. And, but digital sportsmanship is like, oh, okay, cool. And you just get it. It just, you understand sportsmanship. So
you get a visual and you're like, I want to be a part of that team.
yes, it puts you at ease. I love that, Marialice. That is great. That is awesome.
In fact, for Tisha, we already put a panel on, and 2 of her SWAT students, we did it on for mental health awareness. Same here. I think that May was mental health awareness, and we had a panel on like sportsmanship, and then we brought in that digital aspect and the incredible program that she runs for SWAT. Have you ever seen Tisha in action? I've only seen virtually in action. I've been with Tisha, but I would love to actually be in her, like be a fly in the wall in her classroom.
Oh, no, that would be wonderful. I mean, I follow her on social media, through Twitter, and just see the great stuff that she's doing. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, wow. So it's just great. So yeah, like you said, I definitely be a fly on the wall right along with you right there. Just
how can we get more SWAT programs like in all schools for all students?
Mhm.
That's where it all becomes a game changer. And Bruce has a fabulous program for his students. So, I mean, it's just people that are passionate about, and they realize all it takes is one person, right? One person to stand up and say, I'm going to make a difference. And then that one person becomes many. That's all we want to do is to continue. It's like skipping stones, the ripple effect,
Yeah.
making an impact.
And that's wonderful. And like you said, you just, everybody just gets to share with everybody and learn. And I think like that's just the best thing is always just being open-minded, being just wanting to learn. And just like right now, like, I'm just getting filled up right now with so many ideas, and like you getting to meet some wonderful educators here as well. And guys, here's the part about this show is that Marialice is just so wonderful. If you ever have any questions or anything at all whatsoever, maybe you just don't know where to start, you want to do something, go ahead and message her. She is kind, she is wonderful, and she is very energetic and always willing to help and steer you in the right direction. So again, go ahead and connect, guys. And that's the whole point of our show here, is where I showcase and just bring people in that I follow that, just are amazing, and they're approachable and are always willing to take the time and, to help you in getting an answer for something that you may need. And again, Marialice, today with our conversation on digital citizenship, it's just been wonderful. And I know it's been a wealth of information. So follow her on Twitter. You've got her Twitter handle right there at MBFXC. So go ahead and follow her. So again, it's just very exciting to have you here today, Marialice, and thank you so much for making your big announcement today on DigSIC Summit Dixit. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble pronouncing. Dig-Sit Summit. There you go. So there's the announcement, guys. October 12th through the 16th, this year. So there's the hashtag Dig-Sit Commit. So it's just really exciting. So look out for that and just follow Marialice on her post. Follow Tisha Poncio. Follow Bruce also as well. Great educators. And if you have any questions, I'm sure that you can reach out to them, connect with them, and just go ahead and start a program, start an activity, start small and build your way up, guys, because again, Rome wasn't built in a day. Start off small, and then you just never know what this might turn into for your community. And the whole purpose is to involve everybody in our community, not only our teachers, not only our students, but our parents as well, and anybody that we can reach out to. So that would be something that is amazing there. All right, so Marialice, anything else that you'd like to share before we go ahead and just close off our show?
Listen, it was wonderful to be with you. I cannot wait until that one day when we can all be in the same place at the same time. That's going to happen. Our paths are going to cross again. But again, Fonz, I am so grateful to Jamie Donnelly that I had the opportunity to meet you at TCEA. And thank you so much for inviting me to have this conversation with you and to share it with others.
Oh, no problem. And yes, big thank you to Jamie. Jamie's been wonderful and instrumental in helping me meet some wonderful people. And again, it was a pleasure, and I couldn't think of a better guest also to just come in and just so energetic and giving so many resources and just the passion that you just share. I mean, I'm pretty sure our audience members are probably seeing like, oh my goodness, like so much energy, but it is an important topic. It is something that we cannot just sweep under the rug. It's something that needs to, like you said, one of the main things being very proactive and learning together. That is something that is amazing, and it's something that we need to follow. So thank you for being here.
Good. That's what we all want to do.
Exactly.
Online.
Exactly. So guys, thank you so much for joining. We do have wonderful shows coming up this coming week or the rest of the week. So here is a link that I'm posting here. For those of you that are joining in the chat, tomorrow we will have Ben Moore and Darren White from Short and Sweet. They're joining us from across the pond. They're part of the Global GEG community, and definitely Global GEG. I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to them, and maybe also let them know about, hey, Dig-Sit Commit. Maybe we can make this huge. So whoever it is that we can reach out to, those classrooms, that would be just a wonderful activity. So that'll be something that is amazing there. So I popped in the link there for those resources. And I'm also going to pop in a link here, guys, because I always have some goodies here. So go ahead and I'm going to pop in this Google form here that you can fill out. And I am going to pick a couple of winners, and you will win a My EdTech Life sticker pack just for joining us here today. Again, guys, there's no purchase necessary at all whatsoever. All I want you to do is just come by and hear the wonderful guests, get the wonderful resources here that can help improve your practice, or just learn something new that you can go ahead and add to your teacher tool belt that is just going to make things great for this upcoming year. So again, thank you guys for joining us here today. And again, we will see you.
I'll add a Dig-Sit Kids book, either in English or Spanish, too, to your stickers.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much, Marialice. No. So again, we'll announce those winners, and we'll get Marialice that info, and then she can get that book sent out to you. So I'm really excited. Thank you so much again, Marialice. You I love your heart. I love your passion. Thank you for joining us here today. And again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been an episode of My EdTech Life. So guys, stay techie, my friends.